concert funded by World Bank, which I was a part. It is an immense pleasure, privilege from my end to be a part of this international colloquium. Now, before I just come to the main body of my project work, yesterday, the preceding speakers, they spoke a lot about sustainable development. Now, when you talk about sustainable development, the three primary objectives are economic growth, that there should be economic growth, but resources should be utilized judiciously. There should be growth. Environmental protection is the main aspect of this sustainable development. Whatever development you do, you shouldn't degrade your environment. And the next is social inclusion, which emphasizes on the healthy communities. Health is important. Now, coming to the paper, my project work, this is the picture of Rampur Khal. When I talk about the Khal, it is K-H-A-L, which is a local language. In English, it means narrow waterway. This Khal flows through the Amta block of Howrah districts of West Bengal. What is the problem? Whenever there is incessant rain, this particular Khal gets flooded. Whenever there is flood, water enters inside the houses, roads become blocked, laterally the area becomes inaccessible. As you are well aware that whenever there is outbreak of flood, there is immense health hazards. A lot of disease takes place. These are the issues which the inhabitants of the place face for a long span of time. But this can continue like this. Something has to be done. They place this problem to the concerned government. When the government realized the gravity of the situation, they felt that to solve the crisis, only one thing can be done, that is construction of the embankment. Embankment refers to the raised structures that prevents the flood. For any project to be mature, fund is needed. When the government agreed for solving this problem, World Bank emerged here and decided to sponsor the whole project. So what are the two main objectives of the project? One is to manage the flood of that area, and one is to rejuvenate and rehabilitate the existing irrigation network for the sustainable development of the Rampur Khal. For the commencement of any project, certain protocols needs to be followed. A team of experts were deployed. They are all the environmentalists. As per the rules and regulations, if you to start any development work, environmental impact assessment is extremely important. That is to assess the environmental parameters of the particular area, whether it will be feasible or beneficial for the project to commence there. They started evaluating all the parameters: air, soil, water, noise. Due to short of time, I'm going to emphasize only on the air quality. As you're well aware that air pollution monitoring is very important, because if you know the pollutants, we can actually implement measures. The pollutants create health hazards, they create a lot of lung diseases. So the environmentalists decided the first and foremost, we have to first start with the air pollution monitoring to see whether the status of the air pollution in that particular area. The area which I have shown, these are the sampling sites. 3 sites were selected. One is Ronojoybar, Rampur Khal and Kamargaria. The blue line, excuse me, the blue line that you see, this is the Rampur Khal that is flowing and the adjoining villages. They decided to assess the air quality of these 3 particular areas. For doing that, they installed the high volume air sampler. High volume air sampler is a equipment that is used to assess the suspended particulate matter of that particular area. They installed in all the selected sampling sites which I have mentioned. Functions of the air volume air sampler: the air is entering, there's a filter paper that traps the suspended particulate matter. All the readings were measured, and it was found that it was as per the central pollution standard, so they felt that the work can be started. So they started the construction of the embankment of the particular area. Like you can see the pictures, the laborers, the team has reached there to construct the embankment. Later, after 2 or 3 periodical monitoring, they again felt that we need to monitor the air quality once again to see whether the air quality, the pollutants, the standards has been raised or not. During the monitoring, they felt that yes, due to the construction activities, the standards have been raised. So they stopped the work then and started doing environmental management. How come? Due to the construction activities, dust accelerated. For prevention of the dust, they hired the water spray vehicles. The water spray vehicles came, started for mitigating the dust. Trees were planted alongside the roads, and at the same time, free health camps were organized for the inhabitants to see that whether they are facing any kind of health hazards due to this particular venture. Again, this continued periodic monitoring after managing the environment, this particular issue a bit. Again, the work started. After the completion of the work, again the monitoring was done to see the status of the air quality, and it was seen that they are all within the standard, and eventually the embankment got created. You can see the embankment has been completed. You can see the picture of the khal to prevent the flooding. Now, how I relate this with this particular theme is that health is important, we know, but no medicines will cure us unless and until we keep our environment clean. Development is required. Development is of paramount importance. Development is imperative. But at the same time, you have to emphasize on the environmental management. If development and management go simultaneously, then we can create a better world where there will be economic development, there will be environmental conservation. Again, we can create a better society. This is actually an example of the sustainable project, where emphasis was given on the development and also on the environmental management. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think I'm sorry to say that because of our constraint of time, you can have your questions during the lunch. You can approach to the speakers personally. All right? So because I think we don't want to delay our time. Want to have something?
Thank you, Dr. Anisha Kaur. It's a very interesting topic, and because how we can protect the thing as well.
Exactly. That means true that we can actually emphasize on the development, and at the same time we can emphasize on the conservation. If this goes on, then we can develop a nation also, and we can protect the environment.
Thank you very much for
Thank you so much.
I'd like to also thank everybody for being present in this gathering, and the 3 lectures that you heard were all very interesting, very illuminating, and they have a lot of valuable lessons for us to develop our environment and how we can protect the human beings from suffering. Not only human beings, the animals also need to be protected, the plants need to be protected, because we are all dependent on each other. So we know that environment, pathogen, and what we call the host, if these 3 are present, then disease will occur over there. So we have to see that these should not come together. Thank you very much. And I'd like to once again, on behalf of my co-chairperson, to thank the organizers for inviting us to these chairs and conducting this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sudip and Dr. Farida. May I call Dr. Farida to the center of the stage to present the certificate to Dr. Sudip Paran. May I call upon Dr. Farida, please stay on the stage. May I call upon Dr. Tridip Bandopade for being the keynote speech. Please welcome on the stage. May I call upon Dr. Monojit Roy for delivering the keynote speech. May I call upon Dr. Arnisha Guha for delivering the keynote speech. May I call upon Dr. Subir Mukupane for presenting the paper. May I call upon Dr. Sandeep Bodar to the stage for a photography session. Dear all, we are going for a lunch break at the ground floor. Please come back at 1:45 for your next session. Have a great lunch ahead.